I was in a basic level theater class. Got to senior year and there was a split up of people. They were like, hey, we're going to New York. We're going to LA. They're like, where are you going? I don't know. What? I flipped a coin and I went to LA.
You literally did that?
I can't get stuck here. Do you know what I mean? Like, the money's good. I can't get stuck here. But I remember getting there, and I won't say what the show was, but I didn't enjoy it. And so like everything was really, it seemed stressful on set, and like no one really knew what was going on, but it was going on. I left that set and I was like, I'll never do this again. And here we are.
So now you build this career, you're starting to become this really cool leading man in this world. How did that prepare you for the recognition that you were going to get? And I got to believe that in certain circumstances or wherever you go, you will get recognized.
I think, and I mean, AI will affect everyone.
Everybody.
Not just, we as actors are feeling it and people are seeing us feel it, but other people in the real world are feeling it every day. It's something that you're either going to learn to work with it or you'll get left behind.
What advice would you give a young actor who's thinking about entering vertical entertainment?
Ignore the hearsay. I recently did a script where they made 42 changes to the script. This includes dialogue and physical action.
Holy
Because I was like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. And they're like, well, can you go through and mark all of it? Sure. Yeah, here you go.
Welcome to the Vertical Buzz, where vertical entertainment finds its voice. I'm your host, Buzz Leer, and I am really excited to talk to my guest today as he grew up in the mountains near Asheville, North Carolina, started his college career pursuing nursing, ended his college career as an actor. Then he headed west to Hollywood to chase that dream. And just about when that dream was about to end and he was going to head back to North Carolina, well, some opportunity showed up, one opportunity, and it changed everything. I'm talking to Jackson Tiller today, and he is one of the most recognizable, hottest vertical leading actors in the industry today. We're going to talk about that journey. And you know what else? We might even settle that debate over North Carolina barbecue. There you go. So are you ready? Sound speeding. Camera speeding. This is the Vertical Buzz, the voice of the vertical revolution. Action. Wow. How fun was that?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. You started your I started my college career as a speech major.
Oh.
And then went into acting. So I was a little closer than nursing to acting. I got to tell you.
It's interesting. When I went into first starting my nursing degree, I got into phonetics. And, looking back at it, I didn't value phonetics and learning how to talk. It stems back. My younger brother was a brain trauma patient, had a really bad motorcycle accident when I was in high school, which kind of sent my trajectory towards wanting to be a nurse, that kind of thing. And him learning how to have to speak and talk and all of these things over again, like as almost a young adult.
Sure, absolutely.
Definitely kind of pushed me in that direction of like understanding why and how the mouth moves and why it makes certain sounds.
Interesting.
It's interesting how that's correlated later in my life. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to pick up on that in a minute. I want people to understand who you are, and I've got a little bio here to read about you. So all you guys out there in the audience know who Jackson Tiller is. You're getting a little hint here, but we'll jump into this. So Jackson Tiller is one of the breakout stars of global vertical entertainment, a former nursing student who turned full-time actor. Jackson has become one of the industry's most recognizable leading men, starring in hit verticals which include The Diamond Rose, 30 Days of Love, Dracula's Kiss, and From Contract Lover to The Billionaire Bride. Are those vertical titles or what? I love that. So originally, as we talked about in the open, from North Carolina, he's now based in Los Angeles. Jackson took a very unconventional path to Hollywood before discovering vertical storytelling in 2023. And today, he is well known for his authenticity, his emotional depth, his screen presence, and basically just helping define this next generation of mobile-first entertainment. There you have it. Jackson Tiller. Let's hear it, audience.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. Oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. It took a while to get you here. You are one busy actor, man.
I think we're both very busy individuals.
Well, we are, but you've got a lot of screen credit coming up, and I'm really proud of what you're doing. And
thanks, man.
From what it sounds like, you've got so many cool things coming up in the future, and vertical storytelling is alive and well.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I think just kind of starting it off where everyone's at. This AI thing has really kind of affected a lot of people's lives.
We'll talk about AI here.
But I think as far as from a personal standpoint, like I feel really good. I'm very excited about what's coming and all of those things. So
So I'm gonna back up here again real quick, and I'm gonna ask you about some Asheville, North Carolina stuff, because I happen to love Asheville, North Carolina. I lived in Charlotte for a while during one of my careers, and spent a couple of times up in Asheville. Who doesn't go to the Biltmore and just love it? It's just like, it just is. If you haven't been to Asheville, North Carolina, and if you haven't gone to the Biltmore, it's a definite do. You get to the Blue Ridge Mountains, you're going to love it out there. It's really, really great. So paint that picture. What was it like growing up in the mountains of Asheville?
It was quiet. It's really quiet. I grew up, it's in a little small portion right outside of Asheville, but my great-grandfather had a horse farm, and he had some cows, and he had a bunch of land that he lived on. And me and my mom and my brother lived on a little trailer kind of at the top of the hill. But, my little brother spent a lot of time with my great-grandfather, which was wonderful. But I feel like I remember spending a lot of time alone as a kid.
Really?
And not alone in like a bad way, just like, times were a little different when I was younger. It was a little easier to leave your kids at home, like mom's working. She's doing everything she can to like make sure we have somewhere to live and things like that. So there was a lot of like after school time where, like kind of by myself and things like that. Like I didn't have like proper internet until I probably went to college. Do you know what I mean? Like,
wow. So you lived in a trailer right outside of Asheville?
Yeah. I mean, when I say trailer, like it's
conjure up all kinds of...
It's like a double wide. Like it was like a little home, it's very nice. It was nice. But it was like, like my grandfather had his house on the far side of things. We're in this little thing. But, I think it gave me a lot of value for like the outside and, how important it is to like be outside. And, I think I learned a lot of interesting things about myself, good and bad, spending a lot of time by yourself as a kid. So
I got it. And you also talk about, your mom being a big hero.
Yeah.
You. And I think that is I love that.
Yeah. I mean, my mom...
If you want to talk to that?
My mom worked really hard when we were kids. She still works extremely hard. Like I think my work ethic comes from seeing her work.
100%.
And
I believe in that.
I think our children, I hope that, my boys will have the same affection for my wife that I have for my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they will. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important for us. I don't know your relationship with your mother, but
my mom was everything.
Wonderful.
Everything.
And I think there's moments in life where, me and her have been through a lot together. She had me kind of young. So, we grew up together. And I think that's where a lot of our connection comes from. But I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful mother. I wouldn't have asked for anyone else. I think she pointed me in the right direction in a place that was very... I love Asheville, North Carolina. I do.
It's a very artsy community.
It is very artsy.
And back in the day, pretty hippie up there.
Yeah.
It was.
But like you get a little bit outside of Asheville and, it's a bit more closed-minded in some senses in the way that it views the world and acceptance and things like that. And I think she wasn't one of those people. And I think I was very fortunate to have that. And, it's a wonderful, wonderful woman. Very grateful for everything she's done for me. So.
Well, I also see that you basketball and rock climbing are kind of big deals for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing basketball. I blew out my knee last year, which was like my first like major injury as like
last year
in July of last year.
Wow.
I had an MCL tear, and it was like I play basketball 2-3 times a week. And it was one of those things like I've never had a knee injury. And, they say when your body gets a little older, like I'm 39, but I don't feel 39. I don't in my brain, you know what I mean? So I got out there and I jumped in the air, and I knew in the air that I had done something to it before I hit there. And it hasn't went back to normal, which, kind of sucks.
Yep.
So,
I can relate. I blew out my knee playing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was probably in my early 40s, I think, at that time. And yeah, it sucks.
It sucks, man.
And all I can say now, these many years later, it won't ever be the same. No matter what they do, no matter how well they do with it, it will never be the same.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like rock climbing was a similar incident. I actually dislocated my shoulder rock climbing.
And fall?
Yeah, I was indoors, so like, it was good. But I never really got it checked, which, probably should have done that. But I definitely feel like I have some kind of rotator cuff damage or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, just your body's getting older, and it's, now I still play basketball like now, but I play by myself. Like, I go early in the mornings. Like, I get up, I go play. There's usually no one in there, so I can run around and jump and shoot and do all the things by myself. But like,
so did you play a lot of competitive basketball?
No, not really.
In high school?
Like, no, not really. I actually played football and baseball more than I played basketball. I didn't pick up basketball until after, like, right into my senior year, but I didn't play for the school. But I mean, I've played basketball for majority of my life since then. So.
Are there any things that sports taught you that you could speak to? I mean, did rock climbing or basketball or any of that help?
I mean, I think just mental strength in it. I think there's a lot of times where, especially like in rock climbing, I always tell people, I'm like, rock climbing is as much mental as it is physical, because at all times, like, you have to understand like where you're moving, how your body's going to move. Like, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people envision rock climbing is just kind of like you're just up, but it's like you have to move your legs and move your body, and you have to twist to make your body be able to reach here, or like you can do it. So it's a very kind of like puzzle kind of workout that I really enjoyed. And it is one of those things that I miss. I haven't done it in a while. But I think just, physical strength as much as mental strength, like learning how to work through things and move things. And so,
well, all that rock climbing and basketball I'm out of breath now. So we now have to breathe.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about one of our sponsors.
Cool.
We're going to talk all about Aero, AEIRO.co. They are one of the most incredible air purifiers on the market, the AC-150. You can monitor the entire operation of the AC-150 right here on your phone. There it is right there on the screen. That's the AC-150. Clean up a room of over 300 square feet. Does an absolutely incredible job. It'll tell you all the crap that's in your house. It'll tell you when you cleaned it up. And that's what it does. The Aero, AEIRO.co, the Aero AC-150. And we also want to bring up Verticast that sponsor our upcoming rapid fire segment. Verticast, swipe, cast, and create. If you are an actor and you are not on Verticast, you're making a big mistake. At Verticast app, directors, producers, creators, everybody jump on Verticast. It is the best all-inclusive vertical casting app going right today. All right. There's our sponsors.
Wonderful.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So now let's jump into a little bit of how did you get here? Give us that pathway from here you are, you're hanging out in Asheville, and now you're going to come west to chase that dream. How'd you do that? Other than load up your car and drive out to California.
So I originally went to school to be a nurse, and this nursing school that I went to only accepted 60 or 70 students a year. And there was a lot of us, and each year I was a little further out and a little further out. Got caught up in college and, kind of not making
you didn't
the
pay
best choices in
attention?
life. No,
I never paid attention in college. So
I mean, like,
okay.
just, and I was in a basic level theater class. You know how you go to college there.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got to take like a music class or a theater class, some kind of like arts inclusive thing. So, and I was taking a class with a gentleman named Peter Savage. He's probably one of the most important people in the trajectory of where I'm at today.
Cool.
He's an actor, a director. He was also a professor at the university that I was at. And I was taking his class. He's like, hey, you should come and audition. Like, we had done something in his class, and he's like, oh, like that wasn't bad. Like, but you should come and audition. And I was like, oh, cool. What does that mean? And he's like, you come in, you'll read a monologue, and we'll go from there. I was like, cool. Where do I get a monologue at? So, he brought me into his office.
You were really raw.
Man, I was so
that's
raw.
The best. I love raw like that. That's great.
And we went through and he showed me a bunch of plays and things like that. And I picked a play from Dog Sees God, which is like a
Dog Sees God?
Yeah. It's like an adult it's like if the Charlie Brown characters went to high school. Like they like grew up. You know what I mean?
Lucy, Linus, all those guys are now grown up. Okay.
Yeah, they're all grown up.
That would be a vertical. So we need to do a vertical like that. That'd be good.
So he pulled me in and we did an audition and I auditioned for their theater program. So you pick up 2 monologues and you go in and he's like, just make choices. He's like, learn, know what you're doing, but he's like, make choices. Like we want to see people making choices.
Good.
Cool. So, I did one based off of similarities to my stepdad. And then, it's just like little things that I picked up and I didn't know what I was doing. And I remember getting on stage and he's sitting there. There's another professor that's also there. And then there is also the department head sitting there. I've never really met 2 of them, kind of knew them, but not really. And I remember going into doing the audition and I was like, they have to see me shaking. I could physically feel my head like just vibrating. And I'm like, there's no way they don't, there's no way they don't see this. As much as I feel it, like my body was getting hot, like I was not comfortable, Buzz. Was not comfortable. Okay. But it actually went really well. And I became really good friends with Peter and his wife Amanda are wonderful. And they have 2 beautiful daughters. And like he knows my family. Like every time we go home.
So you guys are still in each other's lives.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Yeah,
I love that.
He knows my family, my kids. I know his. I've held his first baby born girl when she was like weeks old. So very important to me. Him. There was another lady there named Claire and another lady named Mel that worked. Claire was also a professor and an actress. Mel worked in our office. And I mean, just important people to my trajectory of landing in Los Angeles, even though I didn't know it. And then, got to senior year and there was a split up of people that were like, hey, I'm going to go, we're going to New York. We're going to LA. They're like, where are you going? I don't know. What? That wasn't a thought that had occurred to me yet. I flipped a coin and I went to LA.
You literally did that?
Yeah. I mean, I waited.
That's
so
an awesome story.
we graduated from school. I took 6 months off. And then in like September or October of the following year, I drove out here with some friends and we got a place. And, there's a lot of time that happens between there and here, but that was how I got to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I love that story.
Yeah.
I love it. And then how did you, so then you're doing the normal LA Hollywood stuff, auditioning and trying to make it.
Man, I wish I could say yes right off the bat. Like I hit out here and I'm like we didn't have a lot of money growing up. My mom and my dad made sure that we had as much as we needed and everything that we needed. But as far as like a lot of like financial help, I didn't have it. So I came out here and I worked all kinds of jobs. Like
and your role models would tell you get jobs.
Get a job.
So you did.
Yeah, I started working when as soon as I got a worker's permit, I was working. Do you know what I mean?
That's great.
I'd always had a job and it was very important. Like I came out here and I worked in restaurants and I worked in some shops and like things like that. And, I connected with, a manager or agent of 2 throughout the years, but it was like when I decided to be an actor, I had a lot of my tattoos already. And they were very much like, that's going to typecast you. It's going to typecast you. And I mean, at that point in time, it would have.
Right. In those early years, in the age group you're in, yes, I remember people talking a lot about tattoos going, oh, no. Yeah. You're going to have to cover all that up. It's not going to work.
Yeah. So, I understood after a while that the way my face looked and then like what my body looked didn't match. Do you know what I mean? And I mean that in the sense of like, I didn't have any facial hair. Like I looked like a child with tattoos. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like, what are they going to cast me for, Buzz? Like, what are they going to be? So, there was, I think, and this was my own, like, I kind of went like this with acting once I moved to LA. Like,
really?
I'd be really in it. And then like, I'd dip out and like change the trajectory or get caught up in life. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't make the best choices all the time, but, we made it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got into, I worked in cannabis for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I was working at a restaurant and I remember being there one day and I was like, I'd been there for like 3 or 4 years. And then seeing people work around me that were, you know, older, things like that. I was like, I can't get stuck here. Do you know what I mean? Like, the money's good. I can't get stuck here. And then at the same time, the lady who had hired me was her name was Taryn. She's a wonderful manager. We became really good friends. She kind of saved me when I needed a job when I first moved here, which was great. There was a couple interactions that happened that like, for instance, there was one day, this is out in Calabasas. I won't say where, but this lady, like, I'm taking somebody's order, and like, we had like a floor where 2 people could run the floor. But there's a lot of tables. So we were busy. It's lunch. Like, people come in, and this was towards the end of the thing. And like, I taken a table of like 8 people's orders. I remember where I was standing at, and this lady walks up to me, and she was kind of a person that would come in and, you know, always kind of had something going on with her order or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? So we kind of knew. But she walks up and she wipes ketchup on my arm. Like, I'm talking, ketchup on my arm. She goes, "There's something in my ketchup." And I turned and I looked at her, and I didn't say anything, Buzz, but I could feel like myself like getting to this point. And about that time, my boss steps in the way and goes, "Go to the back." Like, you go to the back.
To you?
To me. Go to the back. Okay. So I went to the back, and you know, I was like, we stood back there and we talked for a few minutes, and she's like, you know, like, I think you're getting to your point where you move past this. And she's like, I think we should think about you going before I have to like be like, hey, you can't be here anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, in a respectful kind of way, like, you should go do something else. So I made up a fake resume and I applied to cannabis dispensary, and they took me in. I prided myself on the knowledge that I had for it, but I was like, oh, hey, I had this job. It doesn't exist anymore. It was during the transition of medical to legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, oh, that store closed down. This one closed down, but I don't know. Maybe you can get a hold of them, maybe not. So I worked in cannabis for 10 years, and I loved it. And it was such a fun ride. And like, I ran a store and everything like that. And like, I do acting here and there. And then, you know, I met my wonderful wife who, you know, really changed my view of what I wanted in life. I don't think I'd ever envisioned myself married or with kids until I met her.
Wow. That was not part of your plan.
It was not, no. And she knows that. And it's something that we joke about.
All I can say about it, I just know that, Jackson, when I met you for the first time and we were on set, you didn't stop talking about your wife and your kids.
Thanks, Buzz.
Which is for me,
yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I've got 4 kids. I have a wonderful family.
Yeah.
And talking family is just so important to me. And it just shows another side of how wonderful of a human being you even are to be able to do that.
Thanks, man. You know, yeah, I think
it's important.
She has opened up my life to a place where that's something that I didn't know existed. And I think
so cool.
It is. She has been a blessing, and she does such a wonderful job of taking care of our family. And, you know, it's tough. Like, when we're on set, we're on set. Like, you're 14 hours a day. Like, I think me and you talked about this when we first met. Like, it sucks, man, because like, there's Sundays I wake up, I'm out of the house before everybody wakes up. And by the time I'm back home, the kids are asleep. And it sucks, man.
Those are hard days to do that.
But, you know, like, it makes you value the other time that you have and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, meeting my wife, and that's a whole other story in its own of, you know, how she really changed my look on things.
And then you've got 2 kids, and you've got what?
There's one on the way.
Okay, I didn't want to say. I'm glad you said. Yeah, he's got a baby coming. He's got a number 3 coming.
We have a girl on the way. We have 2 boys, and we have a girl on the way. Oh my gosh!
And you're gonna have that girl.
And then we're done. I told her as soon as it hits the air, I was like, if we could get it done in the same room, like, I just dropped my pants. I'm like, let's do this thing, dog. We're already paying for the room here. So
that's what I did, but I waited till 4.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I
did it.
But yeah,
that's so great.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't trade my family for anything.
No, congratulations.
And then like I was working in cannabis, and then kind of how this last, like you mentioned, this last little thing that happened. So, you know, throughout this wave of life that I feel like I led with acting out here, you know, when you move out here, you move. Like, my family's on the other side of the country, my friends and family, like everyone. So like,
I came out from Minnesota, so same thing. I mean, they're far away.
It's far, man. Yeah, so, and it's, you know, expensive it is to travel. Like, it's hard to get back. So, you know, I was making wonderful money for one of the first times in my life, like, you know, a 6-digit salary, which, you know,
at the cannabis company.
Nice. I I told my wife, I was like, oh, like maybe it's time. Like let's just concentrate on this. Like I'm making good money. You're making good money. Like let's do that. And then I had, a moment where, one of those moments where like kind of as a kid, like I sit and think just kind of by myself and thinking, and I'm like, if I quit, did I waste all that time? Did I waste that time and effort to come all the way out here and leave my friends and family, which I did not, you know what I mean? I have my wife, I have my kids, so it's definitely not a waste. But the idea of that, and I was like, let's try one more time. Do you know what I mean? Let's try one more time. So I reset myself, kind of fixed my bio and got some new headshots and things like that. And I applied for a vertical, which I didn't know was a vertical at the time.
Right. We all have that story where the first ones we didn't know.
Yeah, I applied for it.
And this was in what, 23?
23, yeah. It was really early into the vertical world, which again, I didn't know. And I remember getting there and I won't say what the show was, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the process. And I think it was more so like the script was kind of crazy and everyone is very like, because it's new, like right, we have to stay to the script.
Right.
And so like everything was really, it seemed stressful on set. And like no one really knew what was going on, but it was going on. Like, you know what I mean? We're fucking doing it.
That's great.
So that kind of, I left that set and I was like, I'll never do this again. Never do this again. And here we are.
And here you are. And see how far it's evolved.
Crazy, right?
Did you ever think you made a mistake along the way there? I mean, you do the first one and you don't have a good time, but then you go back, you do another one because it's work.
Yeah.
And you're on camera and you're like, okay, I'm going to be an actor again. Did you ever hit that point where you were a few in going, okay, this might not be a great idea?
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, I guess I never really thought about it as a career.
Oh.
At a certain point. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I had ever convinced myself that I would be able to do acting as a career. Which is crazy to think now. And I think also just kind of, a test into mental health and things like that. Like just thinking about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think it was there was definitely scripts that I did that didn't resonate with me as a person. Like, do you know what I mean?
There were a lot of those scripts early on that didn't resonate at all.
This isn't okay, man. This isn't okay.
No.
But again, they get you like fresh new faces and they're still doing that to people now. Like, like, hey, yeah, you can do this, but you have to do this. Like, that's just part of the script. Yeah. So I think there were definitely moments, but then there was definitely a moment where I was like, oh,
right.
Like, and my bosses at that cannabis store, they were so beautifully like okay with me leaving, and to the point where they wanted to push me out. They're like, you should go. They're like, you moved out here for something, you should go.
Oh, that's
they're
wonderful. Really lucky on that.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Green
great.
Queen. It's called Green Queen.
Green Queen?
Green Queen. Yeah, they are a queer.
Shout out to Green Queen. Are they here in LA?
Yeah, there's
Shout out to Green Queen. Two of them. All right.
Queer-owned cannabis store, and I mean, I think they're just a bunch of beautiful human beings.
That's that's fantastic. At what point during this run did you realize that, yep, I can do this as a career? Were you pretty early on in like film 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there? Because how many have you done now?
I think I just hit 40, somewhere in the area. Just a crazy thought, honestly.
Yeah.
I think
I know.
Right towards the end of 2024.
Okay, so you almost a year and a half, maybe more in, you're finally going, okay.
Yeah, and I probably could have stopped earlier than that. But I think there were, my wife at that time was pregnant with our middle son, Maddox. And I was still working at the cannabis shop when she was about to have Maddox, and we had agreed. I'm like, hey, like once you go out for 2 weeks, she didn't enjoy her job. It's like, I think you call it quits. We already have 2 kids. The cost of paying a nanny is ridiculous. It's crazy.
And the film roles were coming.
I was like, I can do a little bit of these, and I was like, I can do this on the side, and then one day, like, it was almost like the emails weren't stopping. Like, there was so much work that was being offered. You know what I mean? What a crazy moment that was.
I mean, I just remember at that time, I was doing like 5, 6, 7 auditions a day. I would book 2 or 3 films at a time. Now, I'm not getting leading roles. I mean, we don't get that. They need to do an older guy leading role. They do. They need to do that. But at that point, they were not. And so I was getting pretty significant supporting roles, but it was enough that I remember there were 2 points where I was doing 2 films at the same time.
Yeah.
At the same 2 weeks. And it just worked out that my days of shooting never overlapped.
Yeah.
So I was able to shoot 2, but it was really confusing to go onto a set going, oh, shit, what role is this today? What am I doing today?
And they're all very similar.
Yeah, and they're all the same. All the same.
It's like, same guy, different name, a couple different words. Yeah,
exactly. All right. So now you build this career. You're starting to become this really cool leading man in this world. How did that prepare you for the recognition that you were going to get? Because now you're being recognized. And I got to believe that in certain circumstances or wherever you go, you will get recognized.
I don't think it prepared me at all, honestly.
Oh, wow.
I think the fan base for the vertical world, as you know, is so loyal and so intertwined into us as successful actors. Do you know what I mean? I think they're the reason we're here.
It's a very different attitude than traditional film.
Yeah.
But again, traditional film's been around a long time, and who knows if they didn't have internet then, but at some point they do glom onto certain actors at the time, but not like vertical films. Vertical films, with the way it's all lined up with social media and as fast as these films go out and the way that the paywalls are all set up, it just allows for somebody like you to become this beautiful image and this star that they believe that they know intimately.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
It's fantastic, honestly.
Because you were mentioning, even before we came on camera, you mentioned about how wonderful several of your fans are that do your fan pages. Because we've talked about those. Eric Gilmette, Noah Fernley, and Cayman Cardiff, all those guys. Felix, I don't mean to leave anybody out, so I'm sorry for who I leave out. But all of you guys all have these, Molly Anderson, Brooke Moultram, all of them have fan pages that literally carry your recognition throughout the day.
Dude, Amanda, shout out to Amanda who runs my All About Jackson Tiller fan page. She's been with me since the beginning. And, early on, I wasn't even sure how to feel about it.
Yeah.
But it was like I was telling you, she is awesome. She's wonderful and does everything she can to help me have presence online and doesn't expect anything, which is such a crazy thought. Like, she just does it out of the kindness of her heart. And I told her, I was like, if ever one day I can hire someone, I was like, it's you. So, how fortunate we are to have such loyal fan bases. But nothing prepared me for what has come of the vertical world.
It is. It's great. And now with the film festivals that are starting up and the different events that are going on, and you got the things like Verticon, which is coming into its 2nd season, where there'll be a lot of actors, there'll be a lot of fans involved signing autographs, taking photographs. I mean, those things they're bubbling up all over the place now. And it's just getting more and more and more. Is there a secret though? Do you think there's any kind of a secret to building a believable chemistry with fellow actors maybe on set? Because you've had some pretty cool.
I've had so lucky. A repertoire of wonderful, wonderful women that I've gotten to work with. Yeah. And I think, especially early on, I don't think that they got the credit that they deserved for carrying these films.
I still don't think.
I agree. Yeah.
Because this is the fan base. I mean, there's no lie. I mean, the data can show it that the fan base is literally female.
It's female.
It's like 75% of the population, or 75% of the audience base for verticals is female. So who are the females watching? They want to see those guys with the 6-pack abs, and they're not that they are not looking at the females, but they're just not as complimentary of the females as they are of the guys. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's been maybe like 1 or 2 people that I've worked with that, maybe you don't completely vibe with, but overall, like, I've never had a bad experience, I would say.
Is there one that you've worked with multiple times?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few. I've worked with Ashley Michelle Grant a few times.
She's awesome.
Grace Swanson, who is
love Grace.
One of my favorites. Like, me and her, like, I think our careers took off at the same time from the same project.
Oh, nice.
From I Wish You Were You, it was 2024, 2025, something like that. But I mean, she knows my wife and my kids, and like, she's very intertwined.
Well, you're gonna have to. I've been trying to get Grace on this show for a while. She's a tough one to tackle.
She's a hard one to get in trouble.
She's a hard
one.
Even
for me, like, I'll message her and like, It may take her a little while. She'll eventually get to me, but but I mean, she's wonderful. I mean, she's a hardworking individual behind the scenes that I don't think a lot of people know about.
Oh, is that right?
She does a lot of producing and things like that.
Oh, very cool.
For the I think Super Ordinary. Okay. But no, I've been very fortunate, and I mean, please, girls, don't hate me. I know I named 2 people. There's so many of you that I've just really enjoyed working with. So how lucky.
So we brought it up kind of briefly. We talked, and you want to talk a little bit about AI?
Yeah,
because we haven't really talked about it a lot on the show, because it's just part of why I'm not avoiding it, because it's there, it's very present. There just is a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of rumor. There's a lot of false stories out there about things. But AI is present. Jack, you and I had a brief conversation about it in the green room before we came up, and just address your feelings on where we are with AI in the vertical space.
I mean, I will say that, the last month and a half has been real quiet in the comparison to where it was 6 months ago.
Right.
I think there's still projects
We're all
happening.
very aware of that.
Everyone, I think anyone that has worked in the verticals, and I mean, like, it's good to see that people are still working and things like that. Fortunate enough, I've got some work lined up for the next month and a half, starting on Monday. I mean, I think what a lot of people don't understand about AI is that some of these companies that run these apps are there for the data. They're there for the numbers. They're not there for the creative process. So I think that's what we all have missed in the value of verticals, especially towards the end of right before AI kind of started. Mm-hmm. Stories were getting a little crazier and a little crazier. You're getting better ones, like there are better ones, but they're either getting better or they're getting worse, one of the two. And I think everyone's trying to one up the last app, like, oh, they did this crazy thing, we could do this crazy thing and put this crazy thing on top of it. And I think the amount of money that, let's be real, it costs to run a live action in comparison to an AI from a data-driven company, I mean, the ROI on that doesn't make any sense.
I get that. And I know that I've known friends that have been writers that a couple of years ago, they were getting live action, signing contracts, getting a green light to do a film. Now they're being asked, oh, do you mind having us do that in AI first? Yeah. And the reason that again, I don't have any of this really confirmed, but other than saying that they have been asking certain writers, will you put this in AI? And then the process is we will do it in AI. Then if it checks out, if the data proves it's worth, then we will do it in live action. So it's like, well, you make that call as a writer and go, okay, here, pay me $100 to do it in AI versus what you're going to pay me to do a live action. I mean, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that going on. I also am in that camp where I believe that AI is still that shiny penny right now, and everybody's just so enamored with it and they love it. And so they're trying all these wonderful things that eventually what's going to happen in my mind with AI is it will find its own lane and it'll be there. And it'll also become a hybrid. I'm a big fan of saying, you want to come in, if I'm doing a live action and I've got to blow up a building or drive a car off a cliff, I don't want to have to pay those fees to a city or a state or anywhere, hire firemen to come out and do it. No, I'll just do that in post in AI.
Yeah.
And those kind of things help a lot because it's going to cut down on your budget. It's going to be more economical and it's probably going to look as good, if not even better.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think also what it's done is, I think because of AI, it has kind of really put pressure on everyone who's still doing live action to up their quality. And I think that's something that I'm actually very excited about. Like, yes, the jobs have slimmed down and there's less of them, but the quality seems like it's getting better and better and better. And you have these
So are you getting better scripts?
Yeah, man. The next 4-5 scripts that I have are good scripts.
And you couldn't say that a year and a half ago, really?
No.
And that's so funny.
And I think it's nice, like they're starting to branch out and let us play differently. You don't have to play like leading, stoic guy who doesn't say anything. Like, I think we're branching into a world where there's real life being written into these vertical characters, which is something we've lacked for so long.
Yep.
So while we are losing at the moment to AI, the quality of the vertical platform is improving. And I think I think the more and more independent apps and production teams start to make their own stuff. And also, as scared as everyone is, the more Hollywood starts to inch in this way,
100%.
the quality is only going to continue to get better.
Yeah, the more the people like the Microhouse Films and the Share TVs and VU, all these Western apps that are starting to come out are starting to do better and better scripts, and they're doing better. The IPs are strong. I mean, everything is just pointing in the right direction.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, AI sucks. It's not what we want to be happening right now.
It sucks and it doesn't. I mean, I'm a big fan of AI in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
AI helps me prepare this show every week. I mean, AI helps us do our work in a lot of ways. So there are some really good things about AI.
Yeah.
But there's also some people not using it correctly.
That's
but
true.
That's that way in a lot of things that happen and are new, particularly in technology.
Yeah. And I mean, AI will affect everyone.
Everybody.
Not just, we as actors are feeling it and people are seeing us feel it, but other people in the real world are feeling it every day. People are losing jobs. Like you know what I mean? It's something that you're either going to learn to work with it or you'll get left behind. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of been the same thing with technology throughout history. Like you're not here with it, like they'll leave you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
What's the dream role that you would still love to play? Is there one?
Do you mean in the vertical world or just like in
any genre? Whether it's what is that role?
I would love to do period pieces. I love old war, I guess would be a way for me to put it. Like Vikings, knights, like things like that. Like I love epic stories. Huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh yes, you are. I read about that. That's right, Lord of the Rings.
I just think that to be able to immerse yourself in a world that's not this one sounds so enthralling to me. I think learning to stage combat and fight with swords and things like that. Like I just, in any sense, I would be like, yes, please, let's do it. So I think I've just now, like in the last year, really gotten to start to do a lot of stunts and,
on your own?
No, in films.
That's what I mean. Are you doing your own stunts?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I do my own stunts. Every once in a while, depending on what it is, like they'll put somebody else in just for safety. But I'm lucky enough to a lot of fight choreography and stuff that I have that's coming up and like things that I have done just recently is all me. So like, it is exciting and I'm going to get to work with some amazing stunt coordinators and things like that. Great. So that would be, put me in a period piece with a sword, please. Anyone.
Yeah. What advice would you give a young actor who's thinking about entering vertical entertainment?
Ignore the hearsay.
Great advice.
Yes, verticals were viewed as this crazy thing, and they are crazy. Don't get me wrong. Like the vertical world is like a crazy place. The scripts are kind of crazy.
A lot of that's because it's still the Wild West, man. Everybody's still finding their place. They're finding their own path in this crazy thing.
But if I would tell people to approach it from the standpoint of how you read it on the paper, because it is like I think a lot of I don't want to say more successful, but a lot of the leads and things who continuously get cast and things like that. I think what you see is that they have grounded these crazy individuals and people. And I think, a lot of people, especially even Hollywood early on, like verticals was like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know.
They're getting a little better at it. Yeah. They're starting to not be quite so, they're
like, oh, it's so dramatic. It's so over the top. It doesn't have to be. And I think you have to, a lot of times you just got to go on set and you got to prove to those people that are making the calls that like, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say ignore the hearsay. Yeah.
Good line.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into rapid fire.
Let's do it.
This is Rapid Fire on the Vertical Buzz. This is brought to you by Verticast. Swipe, cast, and create at Verticast app. Best casting app out there on the market. Whether you're a director, a casting director, a creator, a producer, get on there. You're going to find actors. You're going to find directors. One of the coolest things that happened to me on Verticast the other day, I got my first, I've been on there, well, they're brand new. It's been a couple months. I got my first messages from 2 other actors.
Oh.
Because you can cross message, which I really didn't even know that was on the app.
That's cool.
But you can. An actor reached out to me and said, hey, I see you've done a bunch of verticals. Tell me a little bit more about it. And I was like, oh, sure. And so it created another community, which It's so interesting that Verticast would do it that way because the vertical world, as you know, is a very cool community. Mm-hmm. And so this just keeps in that community spirit.
That's great.
So way to go, Verticast, at Verticast app. And we're going to jump into rapid fire. The way this works is it's not one, but the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to kind of react to that. We can talk about certain things a little longer. It doesn't have to be one word answers. It's like do whatever. Okay. And I always kind of start out with this one just to get you in the mood here. Coffee or tea? Tea. Mountains or the beach?
Mountains.
All right. That leads to Asheville or Los Angeles?
Los Angeles for what it has to offer. Asheville for my people.
There's a politically correct guy right there. Yeah. It just made it perfect. All right. Basketball or rock climbing? We've talked about both.
Basketball.
Like that. Video games or movie night?
I'm sorry, Brittany. Video games.
There you go. All right. I like that one. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Both. I wake up very early and I'm usually the last one to go to sleep in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a 5-6 hour night guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I live by the thing, sleep when I'm dead. You know, I sleep when I'm dead.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's so much. I like to get things done early in the mornings if I have to. Like if I'm not on set, like I won't kill myself and get up first thing in the morning. But, you know, I try to get up as early as I can so I can get the gym out of my way so I can come home and, you know, help mom who is with their child and stuff like that. You know, like let me help out around the house and be present.
I remember as a dad, this is back in the day when we got a newspaper every day at the front door, right? And so one of my things having that many kids was I needed to at least have that first hour of the day that I could read a paper, have coffee, and just be in my own head rather than the chaos of 4 kids being around. So that used to drive me to wake up at 4 or 5, and I kind of got in that groove.
Man, it's a crazy thought when people are like, oh, you wake up that, and I'm like, but it's for that reason. Like it gives me an hour to kind of like get my brain moving and thinking about the things I want to. And like, you know, I go and try to get the workout in so that like get those endorphins going and start the day off in a good space. So,
yeah, that's great. All right, here you go. You ready?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings or Fight Club? Oh, whoa! I'm putting you in a corner on that one, right?
Lord of the Rings.
Okay. And you're getting an applause from the audience.
I love them both so much. That's such a hard thing, but it would definitely be Lord of the Rings.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Mangoes or ice cream?
Mangoes. Not even a competition.
He didn't even hesitate on that one. That was right there.
I'll eat a whole mango every day.
Do you?
As long as it's ripe in the house, I'll eat it. Yeah.
Wow.
But we have them. I peel it off and I eat it like an apple. I don't even peel it off. I just eat it off the seed and go about my business.
All right, that's great. One actor that you would love to work with?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, good answer.
I think it's just what a spectrum of a human being. You know what I mean? And just from the interviews I've seen, it just seems like also like the sweetest human being.
Yeah. That's a good one. One director that you would love to work with?
I mean, Christopher Nolan.
It's so funny. Jason, how many actors have we had on here that all say Christopher Nolan? Funny.
I know. I've seen the clips and I'm like, oh no.
I know. That's so funny. I love that. I mean, everybody says that. It's like, oh, it's got to be Christopher Nolan, but that's okay.
Guillermo del Toro was really good. You know, like if you want to do something different, but
yeah. So if you were not acting today, what would you be doing? Maybe running a cannabis store. I don't know.
Probably still running a cannabis store or a company. Yeah. I think that's definitely where I would be at.
All right. Fill in this blank. Success is
earned.
Ooh, I like that one. All right, now we're going to get into the fun stuff here. Tar Heels, Wolfpack, or Blue Devils?
Tar Heels.
Ooh, Tar Heel guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Those are all college mascots of names in North Carolina. Yeah. If those of you guys didn't get what that was a North Carolina reference. Favorite thing about growing up in North Carolina?
The quiet. The being able to be outside and it's just kind of quiet.
Okay.
Whereas like I feel like it's so busy here. And I feel like my little bit of, you know, the ADHD that I have is like so much happening at one time. So yeah.
All right, Biltmore. Is it worth the trip?
100%.
Did you get that, guys? I agree with that.
Yeah. It's beautiful. This crazy little mansion castle thing that's built in the middle of the mountains.
Yep.
I think the Roosevelts built it.
I know it's
Vanderbilts.
Vanderbilts. The Vanderbilts. It was the Vanderbilts. And I mean, I've been there twice, so I got this story down. But I mean, this is a building that is so massive. It is an estate that is so beyond gorgeous that they built literally in the middle of nowhere. They built their own road out there. They built their own railroad to go out to the estate just so they could get the materials from point A to the estate. I mean, just the stories that you hear about the Biltmore are just like...
It's huge. And it's just randomly, it's in the most random place.
Right.
Like Asheville is beautiful, but it is so random.
It's just random that this beautiful... And just think how long it took the Vanderbilts to even get there coming down from New York City. Can you imagine that back in those days?
Man, horse and buggy.
Yeah,
man.
Oh man, crazy stuff. But a beautiful, worth the trip.
Yeah.
I know you only did nursing school for a little while, but have you ever had to use any nursing skills on set?
No.
At home?
I mean, yeah,
we all do that as parents.
Think about Band-Aids and, wrapping my own leg after, tearing my knee out and stuff, the little things. Okay. But yeah.
What's the most embarrassing audition story you would have?
Most embarrassing audition story.
I know you told your first one of auditioning for the play, but
yeah. I don't really have like an audition thing, but I can share this with you. It's a little different. So my very first play that I ever did.
Play.
I love theater, by the way. I wish theater.
I don't know that there's an actor that doesn't like theater.
It's such a different world, man.
Yep.
Anyway, first day, first show we're doing. We're in the middle of a scene, and my scene partner, like we start the scene, and we open up the show. This my mom's in the audience. I'm pretty sure the school has a tape of this.
What's the name of the?
I can't of the production.
The play. Do you remember?
Plaza Suite.
Plaza Suite.
I believe it's Plaza Suite. Yeah.
Okay.
I was a character that was.
Isn't that Neil Simon?
It is Neil Simon.
Neil Simon. Okay. Neil Simon.
I play the bellhop, who's only technically in the first scene, but the director made it where I show up in like the middle of scenes, like just kind of incorporated throughout the show kind of thing. But in our first scene, we'd done the rehearsals and stuff like that. Like as me and my lead actress were going through the scene, I was like, something's off. There's something wrong here. And I'm like, it has to be me. I'm definitely messing something up. So like, I'm going through the motions and things like that. And we get over towards the door, and we kind of ended up in a place we hadn't really been before. I was like, man, I definitely have messed something up, like, I'm like in my head now.
So the blocking is all off? Something is...
It's not all off, but we're just in different places than we normally were. And I walk over to her and I say something to her, and she says something, and it wasn't like a cue for me in any type of way. And I remember sitting there, and then she looked at me and she goes, "I'm sorry." And she gets up. And like, so if I'm right here, she's right here. The exit to the stage is on this side. She says, "I'm sorry." She stands up, walks out, goes out this door, and closes the door.
You're by yourself?
I'm just standing on the stage by myself.
Full audience.
Full audience. And I mean, this is my first, I had no idea what to do, Buzz. Like I remember looking out to the audience, like I break the fourth wall, and like they kind of giggle. Like I heard some people giggle, and I was like, all right, well, I think I had some stuff in my hand or something. I just kind of like went about like on the stage. I was like, oh, I'll just do something. And then like, maybe she'll come back. And a few minutes later, the director came out. He's like, you can come here. And he made an announcement and things like that. But that was
what happened?
I think she was having an anxiety attack.
Oh my gosh.
And she felt it coming and didn't know how to like communicate it. She's such a wonderful actress too. It was just kind of a moment that happened.
Yeah.
And luckily, because the way that play
she was okay.
She was fine. So the way the play was set up, the first scene wasn't in there was 3 sections, but they weren't connected. They were just connected in the same room.
Neil Simon.
They were in the room. Same room, happened over different courses of the year. So we came back and did it at the end of the show instead of the beginning. But the director came out and made announcements like, hey, like.
So she came back and finished the show.
She came back and we finished it. And
that's really cool.
It was great. So.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. So that was one of my more embarrassing ones of just not knowing what to do.
That's okay.
But man, how you learn how to do things so quickly, right?
No
I'm like,
kidding.
oh, cool, that'll never happen to me again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Is that because it's not like you had taken a bunch of improv classes
No
and
clue.
knew where to even go?
no clue.
Oh, that's so
That
wild.
door shutting will always be like a little horror in my chest.
Do you ever wake up dreaming about that? About
Man,
that
I don't
moment
know.
where it's
I hear,
like,
I
oh
hear
no.
that loud noise just kind of pop up, you know? So
All right. So if your kids described you with one word, what would they say about Dad?
I would hope that it would be loving,
If your wife described you in one word, what would she say?
strong. She's very complimentary in being my
That's
number
great.
one person that kind of like backs me and pushes me. Or like if I'm down, she's like, no.
Good.
Like,
We all need that.
Like even like when the AI stuff started, I mean, like she was just, like I get in my own head, like mental health that I've dealt with for a long time. And then she very much was, she's like, it's not you. Look where you're at now. Like, you know what I mean? Very much like, because I'm like, oh, no one's reaching out to me. Like, what's happening? Like, am I not gonna? Is that it? Did I hit my tipping point? She's like, no. Like very much like, that's my girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that we all have to have a partner like that. That's for sure. One thing how about one thing that your fans would be surprised to learn about you?
That I am nothing like the people that I portray in verticals. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I feel like I am
So you're truly acting.
man. I feel like
Gee.
yeah. Oh, there we go, bud. I feel like the personas that we play are very like they're very stern, and I'm like,
and the roles you play, guys. If you haven't watched the Jackson Tiller film, you got to do it because this guy's amazing.
But it's like I feel like I'm a giant child in real life, and like just live in this grown-up body, and it's
With a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah, I did my best to make myself look like something that I'm not, Buzz. I'm
That's
not.
so funny. Oh, that's so great.
Teddy bear with tattoos.
All right. So now, give me your thoughts on North Carolina barbecue.
I mean, I think it's the top barbecue in the country.
Are you hearing this, you guys?
No,
North Carolina
I know
barbecue.
that,
This is going to create. I thought we'd settle this today, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
sauce is different. The sauce is different. It's got a little twang to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is like
It's a little more vinegary than I prefer.
It definitely is.
It's got that vinegar. If you haven't had North Carolina barbecue versus Texas barbecue or Memphis barbecue, there's many iterations of barbecue all over the country, and there's always that debate. What about North Carolina barbecue?
So I think from a saucy standpoint,
Okay.
North Carolina, I prefer their sauce. If we were thinking about dry rub, which is a different world in my eyes.
That is a different world.
It's not North Carolina.
No.
I think the best dry rub I ever had was like a Kentucky dry rub, maybe? Maybe that's not even a name. I might have made that up.
My dry rub has been in Tennessee that I really
Tennessee?
enjoyed. Yeah, Tennessee.
But I prefer a dry rub over a saucy.
So do I.
Yeah.
Much prefer dry rub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we haven't settled it, but you can check it out. North Carolina barbecue. Here you go. Jackson thinks it's the best, so we'll go with that. What's one role that you would never play? Bet you haven't had that question before.
No, I haven't. Honestly, I don't think I could ever play someone that did something to children. I don't think that my brain could wrap around it.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time when they ask me to slap women. I can't.
Me too.
I don't.
I turn anything if somebody sends me something and my character does something physically hurtful to a female, like I turn it down immediately. I was like, no thanks. Or you can take this out. If you take this out, yeah, we can talk about it. But I'm not doing that.
And you know what I think is kind of fun lately in the last several verticals that I've done, probably for the last 6 months, directors and even the executive producers have gotten more collaborative on stuff like that. I've had scenes recently where was in the script it says to do something, smack somebody upside the head or a woman and slap her around, grab her, pull her arm really hard, stuff like that. And I've said to the directors, there's got to be an alternative that's going to be the same result as this. And we've been able to work through those issues.
Yeah.
Early on, it was like, you do this because that's the way this IP is written. That's the way it was done in China. So we're going to do it exactly the same way. You remember how that went. Yeah. It was like, boom, 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 you got to do this. It has changed. The attitude in vertical has changed, at least for me, a little bit.
I agree with you.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think anything that would, I think I'm too soft-hearted. I don't think I'd be able to.
Well, you are, but that's what people don't know, because if they watch strictly Jackson Tiller on camera, you're going to think this is some hard-ass guy that is going to, break rocks every day. But he's
the tattoos are a facade. They're a facade.
Well, don't break that down completely. Don't give it that up.
They know. Anyway, any of my fans that actually follow me, they know.
They know who you are. Yeah. All right. What's one question that nobody ever asks you that you wish they would? I didn't say they were easy questions.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You said rapid. And I'm like, man, my brain is just, it's firing, but not in a direction that's going to help you. Are you happy doing what you're doing? I don't think we get asked that enough. And I think that a lot of us take for granted what the vertical world has brought for us in the, like, it's like we were talking about, like, yeah, like being on film is tiring. Like it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. But what a gift we have to be able to be tired. So I saw a quote recently. I wish I could remember who said it. So, but they said,
that's right. We'll just call it anonymous, but it's not Jackson Tiller. Somebody had the quote.
It's not me. How wonderful it is for us to be tired, to get to do the thing that we so long desired to do. And I mean, it's like, I think me being able to do what I want to do and take care of my family, like to ask me, like, am I happy? Yeah. I mean, it means the world to me that what the vertical world has done for me in my own personal life.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Listen, I do that every day. When I finish doing a taping like we're doing right now of a show, when I get in the car, I take that deep breath and I say, thank you very much. This is like, I'm so grateful to being able to do what I do and to be happy with that.
We could be doing anything else, Buzz.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when I walk off set and at that final wrap day, for me, my martini moment, which is like, okay, you go to the car and go, wow, how cool was that? I'm so lucky to get to do this every day. And we are. We're very fortunate.
And the family we have built inside of this, the vertical family, I think they try to put, especially with the male leads, they try to put us up against each other a lot. Like, who's the best? But I think, like, we have a community that I don't think exists in a lot of entertainment.
No. This is, it's not like I have a huge career in entertainment or film or TV.
You're wonderful. I've got enough. Give yourself the credit. Give yourself the credit that you deserve, Buzz.
I've got enough of it to know that I've never been part of a community like this, really, in any career that I've been in. And I've been in several careers between sales and marketing and acting and other things, but there's never been a community like this. And it's so wonderful. The energy level is, when you're in a room with nothing but vertical people and that energy, you can just feel it, right? You can feel the energy in the room and it's a positive attitude and everybody's happy and everybody's like, oh, this is so great.
It is. So, it's wonderful.
Yeah. It's a great place to be.
It is, man.
All right. Jackson, both of us have probably worked with, we've worked with a lot of directors and producers and things that have gone into vertical from traditional.
Yeah.
And not all of them step into this world with the same attitude. Some of them come into this world simply for the paycheck versus having the cognitive spirit to really make a difference.
Yeah.
Has that happened? And if you have a story about that, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. I've worked with quite a few people who have transitioned from, I wouldn't say transition, I don't think that's the right word, but I think have come over to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was not a lot of work on the other side for a little while. Still kind of not. And then, I won't say anybody's names because, people are.
No, we're going to go anonymity here.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you can tell the difference real quick if you have someone who comes from the vertical space from like that's kind of where they started at, or someone that comes from, I don't want to say real filmmaking, but you know what I mean? Like a more creative world where there's a little more creative freedom for the director. Maybe that's a good way to put it. And I mean, it's night and day on set. You know what I mean? Like you're talking to them, they're talking to you as an actor about what the scene should be doing and how it should be going. Whereas like someone who's not comes on set and they're like, no, you got to say it like this.
Boy, does that get my blood going.
I'm not
you bite your tongue and go, okay.
I think only once or twice have I had moments of being like for the most part when I'm on set, like I'm pretty chill. You know what I mean? I'm pretty
you are.
There's a lot of chaos going on. I think the best thing we can do is just kind of like, yes, let's work together. Let's push through this. Like, only one or two times have I been pushed by like a director in a direction where I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just tell me what you want? Because the directions that are being provided to myself and to everyone else that's here doesn't seem clear. And like really kind of being irritated by that lack of openness for us to be creative. They're like, it has to be like this. But why? But why? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't have any context in this. So I think those directors who come from the other side acknowledge that. And they're like, no, that's not what we're doing. Like, we're going to do it this way. This is how your character should feel. Like, how do you think that they should feel? People that want to work with you. I think that's my favorite thing about these directors. I'm like, I want to work together. So like, why don't you give me one? I'll do it. This is my take on it. How's your take? Let's try your take.
Yeah.
And then if we like both of those, let's do something different. You know what I mean? Let's just throw one out there just for fun.
I love that.
And I think you only get that from people who come from that real creative background, from a producer and director standpoint.
No, you do. In fact, I had that conversation. I think it might have even been with Chase during the Chase episode where he talked about working with several directors recently that allowed improv.
Yeah.
To be able to say, and I haven't been lucky enough to have that, but he was explaining the fact that he goes, you know, yes, we got to shoot that scene this way because that's the way it's written. That's the way they want it. But this next take, let's have some fun. Let's open it up a little bit and see what happens and see where it goes. And I would die to be on that situation, to be able to say, yes, just let it all out.
Yeah.
Have you had that moment?
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to work on a few films where they're like, you know, don't improvise the whole scene. They're like, but if something feels right in the scene, go for it. And they're like, if it doesn't work, we'll talk about it and we'll move on. And I think you find such beautiful things in being able to do that, both from an acting perspective and I imagine from a director's perspective.
Yeah, I think so.
And even a producer's perspective. Like, you know what I mean? The poor producers in a lot of cases are put in this weird dynamic where they are technically the person in charge on set and over the director in some cases. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of cases, unfortunately. And I think it sucks for the director to have to work through that and figure out how to navigate their own creativeness while the producer is being like, no, it's got to be like this. It's got to be like this. But now I feel like I've met quite a few producers, especially recently, that are like, this is what the app wants. Kind of like you said. Yeah. So let's do that. And then let's do that. And let's give them an option. Right. You know, at least we gave them an option. At least we tried.
We got one in the can that is this, like they want it.
Yeah.
Let's give them a fun one.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry. So we did touch briefly, and we could go into that. It's a whole episode, hopefully coming up about AI, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you were, it feels like this AI right now is like an experiment, and I'm not sure where the end game is on this. I believe that it has to do with monetary reasons, but is it because they want to gather data? Is it because they do want to make more money? Is it the budgets? Is there a particular, what is it in your mind?
My own personal opinion is that it is, the cost of creating a live action show in comparison to creating 4 AI shows. Again, I think we touched on like the ROI of that is completely different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
of course.
I think, I definitely think it's a financial thing, and I wish that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's like we're even seeing now. Like, I did a project, and I won't let it remain anonymous. But they know
anonymity again.
But they know who they are. I did a project with a female lead, and it did really well. And the same app that produced it produced a AI shot by shot replica of it. And posted it on the same website.
What?
Same app.
The whole film?
The whole film.
Did you get paid? I mean, that's my first question. I'm an actor.
They don't use our likeness. They use
two characters.
They use two characters that look very similar to us.
How about voices?
The voices don't seem quite like us, but a lot of
they could take it and alter it.
But I mean,
right?
the dialogue is almost exactly the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard that story.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Disappointing, honestly.
Disappointing. Have you ever worked for them again?
I have not, no.
Have they asked you to work with them again?
They asked me to do another project for, I'll be very vague on this. They asked me to do another project. And when they sent it to me, it was an exact replica of I Wish It Were You, which was my first really big hit with Drama Box with Grace Swanson. I mean, shot for shot, words, like the words were changed a little bit, but like, if you've done a script and you're reading it, I'm like, I get to like the 4th, 5th page. I'm like, this is my script. Like I've already done this. Like, I don't understand. So no. And then I kind of called him out. I was like, hey, script is the exact same as this script. Like, I think I'm gonna have to pass on this. And they never responded to me. So,
whoa.
Not to say that it's like I've burned a bridge, but probably, especially if they ever see this, like I definitely, I was hurt in a way that I didn't know I would be hurt. Like, you know what I mean? But it's.
Well, I'm not going to push Jackson to name the company, so don't worry about that. We won't go
there. But they know who they are. They know who they are.
All right. So listen up, whoever you are.
Yeah. So.
Unfortunately, there gets that point where we have to wrap. Sure. We have to finish this up. But this has just been an amazing conversation, Jackson. I thank you so much for being here, for growing up in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, and telling us the story. Going from nursing school to acting and doing all the things that you've been doing. Your story is just really, really, it's just so real. Your childhood is real. I mean, everything that you told the stories about, and you just are such an impressive human, and a great father and a great husband and all of those things.
We do our best, right?
We do.
Do our best.
You do your best, but you've done a great job, and I can't wait to see what's next. So tell the audience of the Vertical Buzz where to find you. Where do they find you? Where do they find Jackson Tiller? If you're looking for Jackson Tiller, I have 2 social media handles, Instagram and TikTok, Jackson Tiller __. Now, I will say that there's a TikTok account out there that has 225,000 followers. That's not me. Mine is Jackson Tiller __. And if you go to my account, it says account not recommended. So if you see that, TikTok. You guys got to play this back a couple times to figure that one out. Jackson Tiller __. That's it. There you go. Jackson Tiller __. That's how you find it. I'm not bitter about that at all. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, a special shout out to our presenting sponsor of Aero, AEIRO.co, the AC150, best air purifier on the market. And to our wonderful industry sponsor, Verticast, Verticast app, swipe, cast, and create. If you're an actor, a director, a casting director, and you're not on there, you better get on there right now at Verticast app. Huge shout out to the Glendale Podcast Studio, everybody here, Jason, Erica. Wonderful group you have here. We just had a great podcast group. And our social media director, Anna, who does an incredible job of keeping us out there every single day. And I got to shout out our audience today between Ralph and Betty. Let's hear it for the audience today. Thanks, Ralph and Betty. Yay, good job, you guys. And finally, I just want to thank all of you viewers out there who tune in to watch the Vertical Buzz every week. Just keep doing it. We are going to start doing some really cool stuff heading in here to season 3 that we're in the middle of right now. And it's going to be a lot of fun to follow us along. So make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribing. And when you can, give us a rating and give us a review because we love all of that out there. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being on this journey with us. And remember, just listen to what Jackson Tiller said today, because sometimes the biggest leap of faith leads to the greatest opportunities. And that's how those things work sometimes. And as I always say on this show, the future of entertainment is in the palm of your hand. This is the Vertical Buzz, the voice of the vertical revolution. Cut!